Okay, Rabbi say, when do we use our right hand? When is it right to use the right? And what are the cases that are left that we use our left? Let's do it. Okay, so what decides whether we use our right hand and whether we use our left hand? And what do lefties do? So there's generally three reasons why we would potentially use our right hand. Either because we're meant to use in certain mitzvahs or actions our more chashuv hand. And how do you judge what's more chashuv? More chashuv is judged by the hand which is stronger or has more precision. So that hand, which is generally a normal righty, their right hand is stronger. Their right hand has more precision. That's the hand you use. That's option number one. Second potential reason why we use our right hand for certain mitzvahs is because al pi Kabbalah, the right represents chesed, the left represents gvura, and we want to bring more midas harachim chesed versus midas hadin gvura into this world. So therefore, when we do mitzvahs or whatever actions with our right side, we are bringing down more chesed into this world, and therefore al pi Kabbalah, it's often very good, depending on the action, as we'll discuss, to use your right side. Third reason why we sometimes bring it is sometimes there's indication in the pasuk. There's some form of scriptural psukim indication to use your right hand, and therefore you're going to use your right hand. Now, we're going to have 100 cases. It's going to be hard to figure out why does a lefty use their left hand? Why does their lefty use their right hand there? So I'm going to tell you the general klal, not that you might be able to find the exception or two, but here's the general klal. Once we have the general klal, then it will be pretty easy. If it's because of a chashuv hand, if that's the reason why you use the right hand, well, for a lefty, their left hand is more chashuv. Because a lefty, their left hand is stronger and their left hand has more precision. However, if it's based al pi Kabbalah, that we want to bring in chesed versus gvura, even for a lefty, their right hand still represents chesed, and their left hand represents gvura. So if it's about chesed and gvura, then even the lefty is going to use their right hand. And if it's about an indication from a pasuk, so too the lefty is going to use their right hand. And by the way, there's also, besides left-handedness, there's right and left-footedness as well. So there's actually something which, like the English and Europeans, whatever, they know right away if they're left-footed. Everybody knows that they're left-footed. It's the ball that you kick a soccer ball with. Personally, I haven't played kickball in a long time. So, which foot, if you're the type of guy that punts a football or kicks field goals, but from football, we don't do so much of that. A little bit, maybe. So, but you have to figure out whether you're a right-footed or a left-footed, or there's going to be some nafkaminas as well. So let's get more involved. Okay. Now, let's go through some of the Yom Tovim now, because I've been getting a lot of questions. We just went through Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, etc. I got a lot of questions from people. That's actually what drove me to give this share right now, is I recently got a bunch of questions about righty, lefty, right side, left side. Does it make a difference? If I use my right hand, can I use whatever I want? What's the story? What's the deal? Which way do I move the Sefer Torah? What? So getting a lot of that lately. So let's go through from the Yom Tovim. Let's have some fun. Okay, so the Ramah says that it's toiv, it's good to blow the shofar with the right side of the mouth. Now, it's not a chiyuv, it's not ma'akiv, you could blow with the left, but it's good. If the Ramah says it's good, it probably is pretty good. But it's not a lashon of chiyuv, not a lashon of ikav, it's a hiddur, it's good. What about a lefty? Where does a lefty blow? And my son, who's a lefty, and he's a Baal Takeya, he was mighty a bunch of people this Rosh Hashanah. So where does he blow? His right side or left side? I did not know the answer. I had to look it up. Now, the answer is that even a lefty blows it with the right side. And Rosh Hashanah says there is no such thing as a lefty of the left side of the mouth. Since the mouth is one thing, there's no lefty of the mouth, the left side of the mouth, and it's all about bringing down chesed. That's one of the things we want to do with our Tekiyah Shofar. And the Mela, the Baal Tekiyah, blows with the right side of his mouth, even if he is a lefty. Okay. Now, the Bir Halacha quotes the Or Sameach that says the shofar should be held in the right hand. Now, I don't know a lot about the Kea hold it in two hands, or at least depending on exactly what they do with their hands. But if you're going to hold it with one hand, the Or Sameach says it should be with the right hand. And that's brought down in the Be'er Halacha. And we say the same applies to lefties, because once again, that's not about chashivas, that's about chesed, Kabbalah, and therefore lefties as well. Shlogin kaparis. Now, which hand do you hold the chicken? Or money, but money's not as fun. Let's face it. Which hand do you hold the chicken when you're shlog kaparis? So you use your right hand. Now, what if the Derech Chaim brings down and says use the right hand? I would say, who cares? I would probably end up using my right hand anyways. But the Derech Chaim says, no, it's a mitzvah. You specifically use your right hand. And what about a lefty? So the Derech Chaim has stud in both ways. And he leaves it off as a tzarachin, whether a lefty should use his left hand or right hand. Rav Scheinberg says a lefty should use his left hand. But once again, there seems to be stud in both ways. But that's how Rav Scheinberg is machriya, left hand. Now, let's move on to where now we're already moving to Erev Yom Kippur. We give brachas to our children. Now, a lot of people, me myself included, give on every Friday night brachas, but at least everybody gives on Erev Yom Kippur. So Yaakov Avinu gave bracha to Ephraim and Menashe, one hand each, right? One hand this way, one hand that way. Now the Gra and who else was it? There was somebody else. The Arizal says from this you give a bracha with one hand. Yaakov gave a bracha with one hand, so you give a bracha with one hand and you use your right hand to give a bracha. Put your right hand on the kid and use a bracha. Now I didn't understand this because it didn't seem like such a riot to me because Yaakov had to give a bracha to two grandchildren at once. So he didn't exactly have two hands available for each. He was doing it at the same time. So I would have thought it's not a raya. L'maisa the Chacham Tzvi says that you use two hands to give a bracha. So l'maisa, what do? You do whatever your minhag is. Whatever your father did, whatever. But if you're going to use one hand, use the right hand. You don't say, it comes from the left side. Just pull out the left hand because you're holding the baby in the right hand. Just switch the baby to the left hand. Give the bracha on the right hand. Yeah? Awesome. Okay, next. Now that we've been through Yom Kippur already, let's go to Sukkot. So even the lefty will use the right hand. Good, I forgot to mention that. Even the lefty will use the right hand for the bracha, because this is about Kabbalah and Chesed and whatever. It's not about strength and precision and Chashivas. Okay, Arba Minim. So which hand do you hold the lulav? So you hold the lulav in your right hand. Why? Because the right hand is what's going to be holding the lulav, which is a combination of lulav, aravis, and adasim. That's 3 minim. Versus the esrog, even though esrog costs a lot of money, but the esrog is only 1 min. So therefore, the 3 minim are more chashuv, and therefore you hold those 3 minim in the right hand. Also to point out, what's more chashuv, the adasim or the aravis? The adasim are more chashuv than the aravis, and therefore you put the adasim on the right side, and a ravas on the left side. Okay, what does a lefty do? So over here, there is actually apparently 2 reasons as to why you hold the arminim on the right side. One is use your stronger hand, your more chashuv hand. The other reason is because when you're doing the nanuim, you want to bring down chesed to this world, and you want to have the more chashuv thing in your right hand. So therefore, what is a lefty going to do? If you look at chashivas, so he should hold the lulav and esrog in his left hand. If you view the idea of Kabbalah, Al-Pi Kabbalah as we're going to call it, the lefty should hold the arminim in his right hand. How do we paskin? Well, the mechaber paskins for Achinu b'nei Asvardim that the lefty Svardi holds the lulav in his right hand. However, there are paskins for us that the lefty holds the lulav and esrog in the left hand. The Ramah favors the chashivas reason, whereas the mechaber favors the al-pi kabbalah, al-rizal, dika reason. Okay, fine. Now, there's actually a machlikas as to now the lefty. Generally, we like to put the esrog next to the aravas. All these different varlach. We take the aravas, no tam, no reach, that type of yid. We put the esrog on one side, the lulav on the other side. Well, Now the lefty's messed up over here. What's going on? We just pushed the Ravas to the side to be there by himself. So the actual Ashitas, because the Ravas, if the Ashkenazi, no, the Ashkenazi lefty, the Adasim is going to be an outsider. No, the Ravas are going to be an outsider. Am I messed up? No. Yeah. The Ravas are going to be the outsider. We don't want to do this. Where's our Havas Yisrael? So there actually is a sheet that says a lefty should switch it up and put the Aravas on the right side and Adasim on the left side. In the Maisa, we don't pass it that way. And we say that even a lefty keeps the Adasim on the right side and the Aravas on the left side. So we don't make him so weird. Just a little weird. And when he's walking around during Hashanas, and somebody's like, lefty, but he's holding his like lulav in his hand with his siddur like this. So it's hard to motion that he's a lefty. Whatever. You know.
But even Stav, the Rama should be consistent and say that the lulav itself should be switched.
Right. No, because he agrees that's about. No, it's not about you, because it's not about your right. When it comes to which side you put of the lulav, it's not about you. It's which side of the lulav. The lulav is a stam. Stam is righty. It's like the lulav is a righty. So you put it on the right of the lulav. When you hold it, yeah, fine. Okay. Now, fine. Shaking lulav. So there we go. Whether you do the Nusach Ashkenaz Mahalach or the Nusach Sfardim Mahalach, either way, you first shake to the right, and only after that you shake to the left. What about lefties? They do the same. Even Ashkenazi lefties, they first shake to the right, and then they shake to the left. And they do the hokey pokey fuck. Now, the Simchas Torah. We're moving on. Simchas Torah. So when bringing the Sefer Torah to the bima, you bring it to the right side of the bima. You go to the right while bringing it to the bima. So if you're in happens to be not this shul, but if you're in most shuls where you have the bima lined up straight in front of the aron, so you go from the aron to the right side to go to the bima when you bring the Sefer Torah to the bima. And when you bring a Sefer Torah back from the bima, so you go to the right of the bima, which means you make a circle around the bima. Now, something that gets confusing for some people is I had this a couple times. You daven, like, if you guys, this happens at different shtibach, it was in the garage this year, in the front by the sukkah, where you bring the Sefer Torah from a different room, and you don't have an Aron Kodesh in front. And you do not have to make a circle around the bima to bring it back. Because if you're bringing it from behind, the Sefer Torah is coming and going from behind the bima, you don't need to make a circle, because it just goes back. But if it's going from in front of the bima, then you're going to circle the bima. It's just a little confusing. Okay. Now, when doing the hakafas, once again, we always go to the right of the bima. We take the Sefer Torah and we go to the right of the bima. So we do clockwise circles on Simchas Torah. So we always go around this way because you're going clockwise to the right of the bima each time. Now, something interesting is, for us, it's not really a chiddush. Americans, that's how they dance anyway. So I said it. I wouldn't do it any other ways. Israelis, we're doing counterclockwise. Taka. You got me, yeah. Counterclockwise. You're right. It's counterclockwise, but we're going to the right of the bima. We always take the Sefer Torah to the right of the bima, and that's how we're going to circle it for the hakafas. Which for us is not such a chiddush because we dance that way anyways. Israelis who dance to the left, but now when it comes to hakafas, they're going to go this way around. They're going to circle the bima because you circle the bima to the right with the Sefer Torah. So they're gonna go the unnatural way for them when doing the hakafas because the Sefer Torah always goes to the right around the bima. Okay. Let's keep on going to when you hold the Sefer Torah. One more thing about Simchas Torah. When you hold the Sefer Torah, you hold it in the right hand and you rest the Sefer Torah on your right shoulders. What about lefties? So the Pri Megadim says efshar that a lefty should put the Sefer Torah on his left side. He leaves it as a little tzarchin, but he's noita towards putting the Sefer Torah on his left side. L'meisa, the Mishnah Berurah says that even a lefty should put the Sefer on his right side, and he brings down a Sefer Hasidim that says it's based on a pasuk, Biminei Ishdasai, that pasuk, and therefore the Sefer Torah goes on the right side, even of a lefty, and I think that's how we paskin. But if a lefty puts on his left side, you don't have to throw stones at him, because there is such a shita. But the Maisa, we're going to paskin. If you want to know what to do, we'll paskin that it goes on the right side. Okay, now we're moving through our calendar. We're up to Hanukkah now. Gilan, you missed. We started with Rosh Hashanah. But okay, we're up to Hanukkah. Hanukkah. So the menorah is placed on which side of the door? Left side of the door. Why do we put it on the left side of the door? So we can be surrounded by mitzvahs. We have on the right side of the door the mezuzah, and we put the menorah on the left side of the door. And when we talk about sides, we're talking about the side as you enter the door. So the right side is mezuzah, the left side is menorah. You're surrounded in mitzvahs. If there's already one menorah on the left side, where do you put the next menorah? So that's a world war. Do we say no, menorah's on the left side? Or do we say, once you already have one on the left side, now we can start putting the rest on the right side, because that's a natural place where to put it. So that's a world war. Whichever way you do, you're okay. Let's say you have a place where you have no mezuzah on the right side. Why would you have no mezuzah on the right side? So either, perhaps it's a door, it's a place where there's no cross beam on the top, and therefore it's not chayiv mezuzah. So there you're going to put the menorah on the right side. Or let's say you rented an Airbnb somewhere that has no mezuzah, not in Eretz Yisrael, but you rent wherever, and the Airbnb has no mezuzah, then you're going to put the menorah on the right side, because once again, the right side is more chashiv, and that's where you're going to put it. And once again, there's not a person. So even a lefty, there's no question about it, is going to put on the right side. And by the way, once we're discussing mezuzah, I'm throwing a little out of order, but lefty or a house full of lefties is still going to put the mezuzah on the right side, because it's not a person. You're putting the mezuzah on the right side of the entrance of the house. Fine. Now, something interesting which a lot of people don't exactly know. So, Rosh Zalman says that when lighting in a window, assuming that Persuminus is going to be equal, you light on the right side of the window. You don't do it smack in the middle, like many would naturally do, but you do it on the right side of the window, assuming Persuminus is equal, because it's the same idea, we put these chashuv things on the right. Huh? I mean, once again, I think this might get a little involved to the sugyas of pursuing Nisa, to maybe whether you're doing Chutzlar, or you're doing Eretz Yisrael, for who the Iker lighting's for. It might be in Eretz Yisrael, you would do it to the viewers' right, but it might be in America, you do it to the inside people's right. I was thinking about it, it's l'chayr tali on that sugya, so it's tzarchim.
If you're lighting on your table, you don't have to put it on the right side of the table, no?
So that's, I hear, he didn't say that though. Is there a right side of a table?
I'm saying if the table, you put a table against the wall.
Put it against the wall, maybe. Maybe. It's a good shayla. Okay, with the menorah, you're supposed to fill it or set it up from right to left, because you start with the right. However, when it comes to lighting, that you light from left to right. The reason is because that the left one is the new one. So you want to show extra chashivas to the new light. And once you start that way, then you continue. Fine. Which hand do you hold the shamish with? Oh, one more klal that I forgot to mention. I guess I'll mention it as right now when we say this. So which hand do you hold the shamish with? So some say you dafka hold it with the right hand, and a lefty would hold it with the left hand. Happens to be Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that you do any hand, it doesn't make a difference. Because since this is Teitzah based, not Meisa based, the Iker is the Teitzah, that the candles will be lit, so it doesn't make a difference what you're holding for the Meisa lighting. Whereas other people view it that it's not so pashut. Others say that you actually dafka use your strong hand. And it's better you can make a nafkamina, especially if you're lighting in a box outside and like you're holding this up, trying to get it without the wind blowing and whatever. So sometimes not all hands were created equal in such a matzah. Okay, right. Now, by where are we holding now? We're holding by holding the candle for b'dikas chametz. We just got the Pesach. So holding the candle for b'dikas chametz and putting the chametz that you find into the fire for sreifas chametz. So which hand do you use? So the Chaim can ask, it doesn't make a difference. It's not a mitzvah in holding the candles. It's just a hekatepsa to find. Huh? So good gosh. We'll get to tefillin, we'll get there. But over here, it's Chaim Kanievsky says it's teitzah based, and since it's teitzah based, then it doesn't make a difference. Use whichever hand you want. By the Pesach Seder, so we lean. Which way do we lean? We lean to the left, and as the Gemara says, sebas yamin lo yishmei seba. Leaning to the right is not a seba. You have to lean to the left. Now, why do you lean to the left?
Biological reasons.
Huh?
It's biological reasons. It doesn't matter if you're wrong.
So you're already jumping to the second answer of the Gemara. What's the first answer of the Gemara?
Malchus.
Close. So, well, kind of. But why is the sebas yamin lo yishmei seba is the focus? Because if you lean to the right, it's not comfortable. You lean this way and try to eat with this hand, it's not comfortable. It's not a seba. But the second answer of the Gemara is you want the food to go into your food pipe and not into your windpipe. Okay, great. So you have to lean to your left. What about a lefty? What does lefty do? Now it's totally on these two reasons. For the lefty, it's going to be more comfortable to lean to the right and then eat with the right hand. Eating with this hand is awkward, right? So for them, eating with the left hand is awkward. But if you're going to use the biological reason of the food pipe, they should lean to the left. So which way is it? So the Maisa of the Ramah follows the second reason and says that a lefty should lean to the left. It's not arguing on the Mechaber. It's not my first Mechaber either way, but the Ramah comes in and says that a lefty leans to the left. Okay, so how's the lefty going to eat? Lefty's going to have to figure it out.
That's right.
I guess he could use his right hand, even though it's a little weird for him, but he's going to have to use his right hand.
My Rav always says that leaning on the left means the left hand has to be immobile. That's what he says. So by states you have to use your other hand.
Right.
If you could use your hand to eat, that means you're not doing a seba properly. That's what he always says.
Yeah, the Chayri has a raya from that point. That's probably what he's going with. No.
So if you eat, that means you have to.
Yeah, I'm saying I do it. Yeah, I'm saying I do eat with the right hand, definitely. But I can't, I guess I don't know if it's impossible, but it's interesting. Okay, fine. Now, weiter. We've been through our Torah of Yom Tovim. Let's go now through the Seder HaYom. Let's do some daily activities. Ready? Daily activities? Let's have some fun. So a guy wakes up, says up to Shulchan Aruch, how do you do Al Netilas Yadayim? Alright, let's get involved. So what you do is you pick the hand, wrong. You have to first pick up the cup, fill up the cup with your right hand. Kavur, okay. Chesed, I mean. Tough guys with kavur. I don't think you guys bring midas adin down to this world. We need some more midas chesed. So you pick up the cup with the right hand, you hand it over to your left hand, and then you pour on the right hand, and then after you pour on the left hand. That's how the Shulchan Aruch says you should do it. It's a little awkward until you get used to it, but that's how the Shulchan Aruch says you should do it. Now, what about a lefty? Same thing. Because this has nothing to do with chashivas. This is all to do with Kabbalah. Okay, now, weiter. Let's make showering a daily activity in the morning. Not everybody does that, but whatever. Shower. So, how does one shower? So, the Aruch HaShulchan, we have the local Aruch HaShulchan Bucky here. So, the Aruch HaShulchan says you first wash the head, the face, the right arm, the left arm. Sorry, I skipped one. The head, the face, the heart, the right arm, the left arm, the right leg, then the left leg, then whatever else is left. So that's how the. Yeah, okay, you guys can catch me? Okay. So that is how the Aruch Shulchan says to do it. The Magen Avram quotes Derech Moshe. It says we're not so concerned about these halachas. We're not so makbid about these types of halachas. About what you wash first. The Ma'aseh of the Mishnah Berurah says it's good to first wash the right side and the left side. It seems like he's not as particular in the order as the Aruch Shulchan, but he's still saying favor the right side and then the left side. So l'chayr, it's the type of thing that is good. It's a good thing to do. If somebody doesn't do it, what do people do, l'maisa? I don't know. There's not a place where I hang out to find out. I'm not really sure whether people do it or not, but it's a good thing to do. Okay, weiter. So
For lefty, will make a difference.
for lefty, that would make a difference. A lefty does the same thing. A right side and left side. Q-tips. Now I paskin it's not a daily activity. My wife paskins it is a daily activity. What are Q for the ears? What are Q-tips? You know those skinny things with the cotton on both ends that it says in the box, do not use to clean ears, and they have no other use. Let's face it. So if you're using those to clean your ears, do you first clean the right ear and then the left ear? Yes. Yes, you should first clean the right ear and then the left ear. Getting dressed. So when you're putting on your shirt or your jacket, you first put on the right sleeve and then you put on the left sleeve. When you're putting on your pants, first the right pant leg, then the left pant leg. And that's how you get dressed. And when you get undressed, these people are like less focused on this, by the way, you do the opposite. You first take off the left sleeve of your shirt and your pants and your jacket, and then you take off your right sleeve. So it's also brought down in the Shulchan Aruch, but people are like less focused on that. Shoes. You first put on your right shoe, then you put on your left shoe. You tie your left shoe, and then you tie your right shoe. When you're taking your shoes off, you first take off your left shoe, and then you can untie whichever. You first take off your left shoe, and then you take off your right shoe. What does a lefty do? When it comes to getting dressed, the lefty is the same as a righty. What about over here? So a lefty also first puts on his right shoe and then his left shoe, but a lefty ties his right shoe and only then ties his left shoe. Why? What is the reason I forgot to mention? Why do we tie our left shoe? A righty. Why does a righty tie his left shoe first? Since we tie our tefillin on the left hand, so when it comes to tying, what's the more chashuv thing when it comes to tying? The left. So therefore, because we tie tefillin on our left arm, so when in the world of tying, left is more chashuv. So we tie our left shoe first. So a lefty who ties tefillin around his right arm, so he'll go and tie his right shoe first. Now, what about women? Which shoe women, most, outside of women of the wall, we don't, most of our women are wearing tefillin, I think. So, what do they do? So, Shlomo Zalman, Rav Yasher, Rav Tzvi, Frank, they say that she ties the right shoe first. She first ties the right shoe, she puts on her right foot, ties her right shoe, and after ties her left shoe.
Why does tying usually I thought we care about the Kabbalah with these. Who cares that you tie your tefillin on the left?
So it seems to be the Kabbalah of tying. Probably, tefillin is one of those Kabbalah, connected to Kabbalah things as well. For some reason, we do everything chashuv on the right. But when it comes to tying, for some reason, tying our tefillin, the righty puts it on his left. There's something about tying which goes left. I cannot explain it any further because you're not 40 yet. Neither am I. Fine. Okay.
It'll be over my head.
Come back to me in a couple of years. Yeah. Fine. You know that it is falling in the wrong hands. Fine. Fine. Now, what about a under bar mitzvah boy who doesn't wear tefillin? which shoe does he tie first? So he's going to, as Gilad says, he's going to tie his left shoe first, because the boy, because he has the mitzvah chinuch, he has to get in the mode of tying the right shoe, the left shoe, the correct left shoe first. Okay, fine. That I almost got. Yeah. Okay. Now, obviously, I just throw that in there once we already alluded to it. A righty puts their tefillin on the left hand, and a lefty puts their tefillin on the right hand. All the complex cases I didn't get to. I'm going to leave that on the side for now. I'm talking about a thoroughbred lefty puts it on his right hand, and a righty puts it on his left hand. Okay. Next. Now, when saying Shema, everyone uses their right hand to cover their eyes. When the first two parashas of Shema by Shachris, everybody holds the tzitzis, everybody meaning righty and lefty, holds the tzitzis in their left hands for the first two parashas. For the third parasha, it switches over to the right hand because it's supposed to be connected to the heart by the left. So, huh? So some people do both also. If you do both, you're also okay. Some people, huh? Yeah, some of you could either do just right or both. I think they're both. After you're 40.
Never coming back to this shit.
Fine. By Shemina Esrei. So by Shemina Esrei, we take 3 steps. Did I skip Talis? I think I skipped Talis somewhere there. I'll throw it in there. Talis. So Talis, we go by the Atifa. We put it over our left shoulder. That's both righties and lefties. We flip the Talis over our left shoulder. Because we want to knock away the Gvura. Obviously. Fine. Yeah, and we all go left. Fine. Next. Now, by Shemina Esrei, we take 3 steps forward. You take 3 steps, you start with the right side. Take your 3 steps in, get involved in the right. Yeah? While taking the 3 steps back, we start with the left foot backing up. Now, why do we back up with the left foot? So there's 2 reasons given. One reason is we're going to back up with our weaker foot, showing like we're not running away from Shemina Esrei. We're slowly backpedaling with our weaker foot. The other reason is because we're going to go with the foot that's opposite the Shechina. We're facing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu's right is our left when you're facing somebody. And therefore, since the Shechina is on the right, that's for some reason, we're going to back up with the left foot. So what is a lefty going to do? So now, it depends which reason we're going to be focused on. So, the Maisa, the Mishnah Berurah follows the first reason. It's the reason that's based on the weaker foot. So since it's based on the weaker foot, it's like the Mishnah Berurah, a lefty will back up with his right foot first, which for him is the weaker foot. But it is machlekes, but the Maisa says Mishnah Berurah Paskins that a lefty backs up. First step back is with his right foot.
Wouldn't it be more established that the weaker foot should be the one that doesn't back up because it's more awkward, meaning your stronger foot staying in place. Keep only when you back up with one foot.
But say, the one that's moving, I'm going to move generally when you start walking, use your stronger foot to start walking. So this is, we're doing it the non-natural way. If you're trying to walk away somewhere fast, we're going slow, we're backpedaling slow, unnaturally. So I think that's the idea. But, by the way, I looked it up. Apparently, around 60%. Yitzi, are you left-footed?
Snowboard.
How do you play kickball?
I don't play kickball. No, I'm still not left-footed.
60% of lefties are left-footed, and 15% of righties are left-footed. So just because you're a righty, got to check these things out.
I had to kick somebody up.
But what's good there? What you rock? I'm saying, let's say,
With your fit?
no, I'm saying if you're 50-50, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Rock with his rock, and kicks with his left.
So whatever the chayr we're gonna go,
It's rocking.
Yeah.
huh?
That's the right with his right hand and kicks with his left foot.
You could be right-handed and left-footed. It's not a stira.
We're not really
I
mashing the
said
left.
you're right. That's considered to be right-handed.
Right-handed and left-footed.
He's saying what's considered a left. Are you a lefty or right? You're right.
You're right.
Yeah, you're righty in hands. But when it comes to taking steps back, I don't care about your hands. I care about your feet. When it comes to which step, that's foot-based about how you walk back. Fine. Now, fine. When saying you bend to the left, bend to the right, bend forward, that is because why do we start with the left? Usually we start with the Shechina. The Shechina and the chesed of the Shechina, Hashem's Yemen, is on the right. So we face Hashem's right by making that left first. And a lefty would do the same. Fine. During Shemayna Esrei, the way that the Shulchan Aruch says our motion is we go like this. We put our right hand over our left hand by the heart. Now, most people don't do this. But you put your right hand over your left hand by the heart, and a lefty would do the same. The mice of the Chazanish and the Stapler weren't makbid on this. There's definitely some people that are makbid on this. Most people are not makbid on this. Definitely if you have a sitter, you're not doing this. If you're holding a sitter. L'maisa, it's a nice thing to do. If you could, it's weird if you start doing it. You eventually get used to it. You get used to it. I tried to do it the other day because I don't do this. So I tried to do it, and it was just too weird. And I don't know, I didn't continue. But if you could do it, it's a good positive thing, but you don't have to do it. Okay, fine. Now, let's get where we're holding. We're holding B'Birchas Kahanim because there's shots. Okay, so the Kohen makes a circle. They turn around. They're first in the beginning of Duchening, which I know you're not peeking, guys, but in the beginning of Duchening, they're facing the Aron Kodesh, and then by the time they're done, they somehow are facing the Tzibur. How do they do it? They turn around to the right, and when they start swaying, they first sway to the right, and then they sway to the left. A lefty Kohen does the same thing as a righty Kohen. By the way, just once we're talking about a Kohen, the Gemara says that a lefty is a Baal Mum. But the Stapler says, don't worry, when Mashiach comes, the Baal Mum will be healed. So don't worry, Yitzi, you'll be healed, you'll become a righty, you'll be alright. Fine. I don't know if
Everybody has to have something.
But I might say, Cohen is a lefty, still looking. I'm saying, still.
So that's the famous question. It seems to me it's like a Palgina and a Balmumness. It would be a Balmum Klape Avoida, but not Klape Dochening. Because Klape Dochening, I think the pshat is, it's only a Balmum that looks weird. It's not just that you cover it over, you look at a lefty, even you looked at his hands, you couldn't see that he was a lefty. And I think that's pshat. Fine. Now the Proiches. When you open up, we're heading to we're at Kriyas Torah already. So I skip this Tachna. So we put our head Tachna. We put our head down. So we're going to put our head down on the left arm. However, during Shachars, when we're wearing tefillin on our left arm, it's not covered to the tefillin to rest your head on the tefillin, and therefore on Shachars we'll put our head on the right hand. A lefty will always put his head on the left hand, whether Shachars or Mincha, it will stay consistent. Okay. Now, what about Slachna or Vidu or Shamnu? Yeah, so that's also Al Pi Kabbalah. So why are we doing it on the left hand, Al Pi Kabbalah? I don't know, but it's Al Pi Kabbalah.
In fact, you and I'm Cordy.
At the left, yeah.
So if anything, you would think that it's time to go for chesed.
Maybe we were like putting our head on top of the gourd, like smashing the gourd down. Yeah, it says it somewhere. Fine, okay, fine. Weiter. Now, what about vidui? So you're banging the left side of your chest. Why the left side? Because you're banging where your heart is, and therefore, which hand do you use? Use the right hand. What does the lefty do? So lefty is also going to be on the left side. And which hand is he going to use? He's going to use the right hand. I don't think it's such a focus on the hand that you bang with. It's more tetzah based, I think, that the chest gets banged. Now, if you're going to bang the left side, it's much more it's awkward to go like this. You know, it's much more normal to go like this, and therefore you're going to use your right hand to bang the chest of the left. The pareiches, which way do you open the pareiches and close the pareiches? So there's actually machlokes whether it's supposed to go right to left or left to right. Some are in Kodesh, you could only go one way, either this way or that way, because that's just how it's set up. If that's how it's set up, that's how you do it. If you have the choice either way, it's probably better to go from right to left, because it seems that there's more, what they do over here, right? Yeah, that seems to be the more preferred opinion. Okay, going up for your aliyah. So when you go up for your aliyah, you go up the fastest way. It's not about right or left, you go up the fastest way. Now, if it's equal from where you're sitting to go to the bima, you go to the right or go to the left, then you go to the right, but you go the fastest way, and you come back the longer way, as long as it's not like really like annoying people and random and no sheikhs. Then you go back the quick way. But if there's two whatever ways to go back, so you go back the longer way. Okay. The one who gets the aliyah, he stands to the right of the balkayra. When making the brachas, so he's going to either close his eyes, because he doesn't want to look like you're reading the brachas from the Sefer Torah. So he either closes his eyes or he looks to the left, not the right. Why? A big Kabbalah.
Unless the brachas on the right.
Well, then he's reading. If you're reading, then you're reading, wherever they are. Yeah. Okay. Next is you hold on to the Atzei Chaim of the Sefer Torah while making the brachas, right hand on right, left on left. During the Kriya, the laning, you keep your right hand on the right Eitz Chaim, and left hand free. Okay. While doing Hagba, the Fiva Mishnah Brura, the way that you do Hagba is you pick it up the Sefer Torah and you make a 360 circle to the right. And there's a lot of people do hokey pokey and whatever. I'm sure it comes from somewhere, I don't know where. But the Mishnah Brura says you make a circle around the right. Fine. Clockwise. Yeah. Clockwise, to the right. Clockwise. Yeah? Fine. Next. We got this. We're making a bracha on food. Now we got some assorted halachas, yeah? We're making a bracha on food. You hold the food in your right hand. Lefties hold the food in their left hand. When you say Kiddush or Havdalah, or you do benching on a kais, the kais goes in the right hand. What about lefties? So Ashkenazi lefty holds it in his left hand. A Sephardi lefty holds it in his right hand. The kais. I heard a psak from Zev Smith. He said he's a lefty. He goes up to get a bracha by a chuppah. He holds it in his right hand. But Rabin, he feels awkward, weird, holding his left hand. Everybody's like, "What's going on? What are you doing? You're not supposed to hold it in the right hand or whatever." And he's saying on the shitas of holding it in his right hand when he's doing a public thing like a bracha at a chuppah. So he said he said by the Aramean thing as well.
People follow the rabbi. The Rosh should have
Fine.
What about the kala? Which hand would you
So the kala, so we have some kashas about the kala. The kala should stand on the right side of the chassan, first of all. So that actually works out, because if the men are on the right of the room and the ladies are on the left of the room, and then the chassan and kala are facing the tzibur, so it actually works out, if you think about it, where the kala is on the right side of the chassan. Now, which is the left side of everybody who's facing them. Now, the and the chassid puts the ring on the kala. The chassid uses his right hand to put the ring on the kala's finger of her left hand. Yeah? Now, what if the chassid is a lefty? No.
He's saying, don't worry about the two getting wrong there.
No, it didn't.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, lulav. Everybody knows what the deal. Yeah. The kais, people really think, let's say he's holding the paper in his right hand, and the third people say it, who cares? You do whichever way. I saw Rav Smith do it. Yeah? Fine. So, next. So, you use the right hand to put the ring on the kala's finger. What about a lefty? So a lefty uses the left hand. Check the videotape. No, you're still married. Fine. The kala is a lefty, and the kala should put it on the finger on her left hand. And once again, none of these are ma'akif. Everybody's still married. Okay. Now, one thing, a random thing that we, one or two random things that we missed out. So, if you do shchita or milah, you use the hand, which has more precision. More precision. Yeah. The more you use the hand, which has more precision, it's tight saw based, not mesa based. Okay. You go to sleep on the left side, and you're supposed to wake up on the right side. How do you decide which side to wake up on? You'll know. Okay, next. We said the mezuzah is on the right hand. Lefties put the mezuzah also on the right side. You kiss the mezuzah with the right hand if you kiss the mezuzah. The Be'er Moshe brings down that a lefty should kiss the mezuzah with his left hand. Okay. Did the chuppah stuff already? We're running it down. Somebody tears kriya by the koisel, or if their parents were son or nifter, they tear on their left side. For a sibling or a child or son, you tear on the right side. Why is that? Why the left side for a parent to the koisel? That's over the heart. So a lefty would do the same thing. A lefty would tear on the left side as well for the parent and the koisel. And that's no different than a righty. Huh? It's less of avilus. Yeah, she uses the right because it's less of avilus. Rabbi Yehuda Chassid brings down. We discussed this in the Shiur of Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. That Rabbi Yehuda Chassid says that a woman who is nursing should start off nursing on the left side.
Give the kids some glue.
When I say I don't think that the Olam is machmir on this, I don't believe. I'm sure there are those, correct? But I don't think the Olam is machmir on this. But it's just an interesting fun fact to know. And thank you for listening. You should always do what's right with the right and what's left with the left.